as a couple, of course we want to talk about what gets us in the mood, but we also want to talk about what gets us out of the mood.
Having a conversation with your partner about what can take you out of the mood and what can take your partner out of the mood can be really enlightening. And having those things acknowledged can be freeing because then you can find creative solutions to them. For instance, if one of you finds it hard to get aroused when they're worried that the kids are going to wake up, or if you're worried that you have to get up early in the morning for an important meeting, it's really good to be able to talk about that. So we thought we'd have this conversation, as we have a lot of conversations, so that you could see, well, us being vulnerable so that it's easier for you to be vulnerable with your partner.
I could really identify with the one about getting up early in the morning, because for years I was so busy at my job that I would try to get in there by 6. And that meant getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. And it was on my mind at night going to bed. It's like, oh, wow, you really have to get up early. And so, yeah, that definitely put a crimp in our style.
Well, I find as I get older, and it can be embarrassing to talk about this, but I find I have less energy later in the day than I used to have. And so I'm not so raring to go at 10 or 11 p.m. like I used to be.
But lunchtime. Let me tell
you. What's something else that takes you out of the mood?
If the business line is ringing, that for sure can take me out of the mood, like immediately.
So what do you do about that?
I turn the business line off and shut the door just to make sure I'm not going to hear anything.
So for people who are disturbed by their phone sounds, that's a great reason to turn your phones off.
Do a little planning ahead of time, and I think you'll have a much better experience.
Yeah. Another thing that takes me out of the mood, and you know this.
I can guess what this is going to be.
What is it?
Heat. Cold is what takes you out of the mood. Heat is what gets you in the mood.
See the thing about the remedy? He knows that heat gets me back in the mood. So you will turn the space heater on. You've bought me those thigh-high thick socks, my sex socks, and sweaters, so that
Oh yeah, whatever it takes. Down jacket. It's fine with me.
One other thing that will take me out of the mood is if I'm feeling down about myself for some reason that day. If I feel like, I'm not looking as good today for whatever reason, most of that's in our head.
But now you know what to do about that.
What do I do about that?
You come to me and say, hey, I am feeling this way about this or that. And you give me about 2 minutes to take care of it all. And
what do you do? This is important. What do you do that helps take care of my feeling down about myself?
Well, you usually pick something about yourself that you're unhappy with, right? And I think my point almost always to you is that, people aren't looking at these specific spots that we see as we age and we don't like, right? They see the overall you, and that's what they take in. And when you are radiating, like you almost always do, nobody would ever notice the little blemish on your chin or whatever it happens to be.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. So
I'm going to put a couple of links to some of the videos we've done about these pep talks he gives me, because I feel like anybody could learn how to do this for their partner, and it heals so instantly, because who's the one that matters most in that moment is how he feels about me and how I feel about myself. And those two things rise together when you give me those pep talks.
It never takes very long, right? Because I'm always right about it. It's just one little thing she's noticing. You know what? Honestly, if she hadn't pointed it out, chances are I never would have noticed it.
What else? Is there anything else that takes you out of the mood?
I mean, I suppose, any of life's pressures or stresses could do it. And I think, it really is helpful to talk about it with your partner, right? Because if you're not into it for whatever reason, your partner's going to notice. And as humans often do, we start to think that, oh, maybe it's something I did or I said or how I was.
Right.
And it might be something that's just in our head about ourselves. So get it out on the table. Tell your partner, hey, I'm just not feeling up, right now because of so-and-so is going on. And, maybe we could talk about this and I'll feel better and I'll be in a better space. So it's really helpful to talk to your partner about it.
I like that because oftentimes people will take it as a reflection not only of themselves, but also of a reflection of how their partner feels about the relationship.
Right.
When it may have nothing to do with that.
And usually doesn't.
Is there anything else that can take you out of the mood?
Yeah.
Oh,
there is something else.
You were so definitive there.
There's this one. This one's a big one because if you ever say to me, do I hear a drip?
Oh, yeah.
Is that the faucet dripping or something like that? I mean, first of all, I hate plumbing. Second of all, water, it's not something you can ignore, right? If it's dripping, you got to deal with it. So that can readily put me out of the mood.
Well, but I can ignore it. I can ignore it and just not say that until we're done, until after we've had our fun.
Yeah, because what's a few drips, right? Or a few gallons.
If you're brave enough, we'd love to hear any of the things that take you out of the mood.
I'm sure there's a lot we haven't thought about.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks.